Yo, what is up, guys? Will here with Canyon from Fantasy Basketball Flock, and we've got an unfortunate video today. We have to talk about the Kevin Durant injury. Just the other night in the Heat game, sustained an MCL sprain. The initial reports are he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks, but obviously with these kind of injuries, that 2 weeks could look like 3, 4, 5, even 6 weeks of missed time. So we want to make a video today talking about, the implications of that injury. Obviously, when you take a superstar like Kevin Durant out of a team, ton of usage. He's played pretty much every game this season, so obviously there's usage to go around. There's some pickups we want to talk about. I think obviously huge usage bump for Kyrie and Ben Simmons, right? Those are two guys who have the ball in their hands a ton. Kyrie, obviously, I don't think I need to spend any time talking about Kyrie Irving. He's rostered everywhere. Obviously, he's still going to be a stud. Ben Simmons, on the other hand, I think he's a guy in a lot of shallow leagues where he's probably on waivers in shallow leagues. Obviously, not the sexiest NBA fantasy player, right? He's not scoring a ton, but the peripherals are really solid. And I think when you remove a guy like Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons is going to have the ball in his hand a decent amount more. And while he's never going to be a huge shot volume guy, it would not surprise me at all if Ben Simmons does increase his scoring numbers over the stretch that KD's out.
Yeah, and out of the guys that are probably more readily available in most leagues, we've got like TJ Warren, Seth Curry, and Royce O'Neal, I think are probably going to be the three best guys to look to add. TJ Warren and Curry will more consistently get higher shot volume and offensive work here on this Nets team with Durant out. We saw a little bit of Curry without Durant last season, around 15 field goals attempted per game without Durant last season. I think it was about a 10-game stretch there where he was really the guy to go to offensive looks-wise alongside Kyrie Irving. And so we can see that bump again definitely from Curry. And then TJ Warren as well, obviously can fill in that small forward, power forward role if they choose to have him as a starter, or even just get starter type of minutes, even staying off the bench. Curry and Warren have definitely been the more productive and higher volume shooters off the bench anyway. And now obviously with this entire volume that you're having to lose with Durant being out, sure, Kyrie's going to get some of it, but again, there's going to be guys that are also going to benefit that you can benefit off of as well, off the waivers like TJ Warren and Seth Curry. And then Royce O'Neal, he's going to see high minutes like he always does. He's getting mid 30 minutes. He's playing a lot. He's never going to be a high scorer, but he's going to have more opportunity to do that. But it's the peripherals, it's the defense that you're looking to get him for. So especially in fantasy points leagues, Royce O'Neal should continue to be a really good producer for you. So he's going to have high minutes. He could obviously get more looks offensively as far as shot volume goes, but he should continue to give you some good rebounds, assists, defensive numbers, and just be that consistent guy. But I think Warren and Curry can get into the double-digit field goal attempts, get you some really good points and threes from those two guys. So I think out of the guys that are usually probably more available in your leagues, TJ Warren, Seth Curry, and Royce O'Neal are the three that I think are worth the ads.
Definitely. And I do want to mention, you do have to keep in mind for this week specifically, this fantasy scoring week, the Nets only play 2 games. So just Thursday and Sunday this week. So obviously if you're picking up these guys, they're not going to help you a ton just playing 2 games. Obviously that's not great for a fantasy week, but obviously this injury would not surprise me at all if it is not just 2 weeks, but, is 3 to 4 weeks of missed time for KD. Obviously, like I mentioned, with a superstar like that, I do want to mention, obviously Harris and Watanabe. I know those are guys that people probably could see seeing a minutes and usage bump, but I think the thing overall, those guys are playing limited minutes right now, right? We're seeing Curry get the nod over Harris at the 2. And, Watanabe obviously not getting a ton of minutes either. And in the games where he's getting okay rotational minutes, obviously it's really, really hit or miss, and the hits aren't even that great, right? Not a ton of scoring or anything or peripherals from either of those guys. I think overall, I don't necessarily think any of these guys that we've talked about, Warren, Curry, O'Neal, really look like they're going to be the guys who are replacing or taking over a ton of shots from KD, right? It's when you have a guy like KD who has a ton of offensive usage, it's going to be dispersed among a lot of those guys. So there is going to be a game where obviously, Curry takes a ton of shots and, it performs really well. Warren as well. Maybe Royce O'Neal here or there has a higher scoring game, but it's going to be dispersed around. So there is going to be a random, Harris game where maybe he plays 24 minutes or something, has really good scoring, and, maybe even Watanabe, we'll see. But really, I think those guys, it's a lot less likely for them to have a solidified increased role. They're going to see a little bit of a bump, but not enough for me to feel comfortable in 12-team leagues picking up these guys in deep, we were talking 14, 16, 18, deeper leagues. Obviously, any guys that are going to see a usage bump and could have opportunity are worth the pickup. But in most leagues, I'm not really looking to add those two guys. But let us know what you guys think. I mean, obviously, really tough having these superstars suffer these injuries, but I mean, KD was performing insanely well. It's something you just have to anticipate in the NBA fantasy season. We're going to have stars miss time. Hopefully, it's closer to 2 to 3 weeks than longer than that. Obviously, KD was a monster for fantasy, but obviously, like we talked about, Warren, Curry, O'Neal, those are guys that might be available that could, provide a ton of value for you guys, especially in deeper leagues over this next 3 to 4 week stretch. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next one.